If you have ever found yourself staring at the ceiling in the dead silence of the night while the rest of the house breathes in a heavy rhythm of sleep. If your eyes snap open without an alarm clock and your hand reaches for your phone only to see those glowing numbers staring back at you. 3:15 in the morning, 3:33 in the morning, 3:45 in the morning. If you belong to the silent tribe of people who are consistently pulled from their dreams between the hours of 3 and 4 in the morning, then you need to listen very closely to what is about to be said, because this is not insomnia. This is not a sleeping disorder. This is not because you drank too much coffee or because you are stressed about the bills that are piling up on the kitchen counter. Edgar Cayce, known to the world as the Sleeping Prophet, spoke extensively about this precise window of time, and he did not call it a disruption. He called it an invitation. You have been told by modern medicine that waking up at this hour is a symptom of a liver cycle imbalance or a spike in cortisol. And while the body does have its rhythms, the father of holistic medicine saw something far more profound happening in the electrical currents of the spirit. He saw the veil getting thin. There is a reason why the ancient mystics and the monks and the keepers of the wisdom traditions would rise before the sun to begin their prayers. There is a scientific and spiritual reason why you are being woken up. Think about the atmosphere of the world at 3 in the morning. The traffic has stopped, the televisions are off. The millions of cell phones in your city are sitting idle on nightstands, and the chaotic mental static of humanity is at its absolute lowest point. The collective consciousness is quiet. The noise is gone. And it is in this vacuum of silence that the subtle frequencies of the higher dimensions can finally push through the static to reach the receivers that are embedded in your DNA. You are not waking up because you are broken. You are waking up because your internal antenna has just picked up a signal. Edgar Cayce described the body not just as a machine of flesh and blood, but as an intricate housing for the soul, connected by a silver cord to the vast library of all human knowledge known as the Akashic Records. When you wake up suddenly with your heart pounding or your mind racing with a strange clarity, it is because that connection is vibrating at a frequency that your physical body is struggling to integrate. You are being summoned. This is what we call the dawn summons. For decades, you may have laid there feeling frustration. You turn over your pillow to find the cold side. You count the hours left before you have to go to work. You worry that you will be exhausted the next day. You have been treating this gift as a curse, and that resistance is exactly what causes the exhaustion. The fatigue does not come from the lack of sleep. The fatigue comes from the resistance to the download. Imagine for a moment that you are a sentry on a watchtower. In the ancient armies, the most trusted soldiers were not the ones who slept the soundest. They were the ones who could be roused by the snap of a twig. You are a spiritual sentry. You are being woken up because there is work to be done in the etheric plane, and your specific energy signature is required to hold the line. Cayce spoke of the endocrine system, specifically the pineal gland and the pituitary gland, as the physical bridges to the spiritual world. Between 3 and 4 in the morning, these glands are secreting a very specific neurochemical blend that allows for a state of consciousness that is neither fully awake nor fully asleep. It is a twilight state. It is a hypnagogic trance where the barriers of your ego are down and the truth of your spirit is standing naked before the universe. The entities and the guides and the higher self that Cayce communicated with during his famous trances use this hour to knock on your door because it is the only time you are quiet enough to hear the knock. If you have a curve on the outer edge of your palm, or if you have ever felt like you can sense the mood of a room the moment you walk into it, then you are already genetically predisposed to this sensitivity. You are a biological radio that has been tuned to a station that broadcasts only when the rest of the world is offline. The thoughts that come to you in this hour are not random. Those sudden memories of a person you haven't seen in 20 years. That sudden solution to a problem that has been plaguing you for months. That sudden overwhelming feeling of love, or even that sudden overwhelming feeling of grief. These are not brain fluctuations. These are data packets arriving from the source. But because you have never been taught the protocol for this hour, you waste the energy worrying about why you are awake. You lay there and you spiral. You think about your mistakes. You think about your fears. And by doing so, you take this high-voltage spiritual electricity that was meant for enlightenment, and you ground it into anxiety. You are taking rocket fuel and pouring it into a lawnmower. We are going to change that right now. We are going to reframe this entire experience from a medical annoyance into a spiritual call to arms. The next time your eyes snap open at 3:33 in the morning, you will not look at the clock with dread. You will not sigh. You will not reach for your phone to doom scroll through social media, which instantly pollutes your pineal gland with artificial blue light and low vibration information. You will lie still. You will realize that the master physician is making rounds. You will realize that the reason you are awake is that your spirit team has tapped you on the shoulder because the connection is clear, and they have something to give you, or they need you to anchor light for someone else who is struggling in the dark. You are part of a hidden grid of light workers who are woken up simultaneously all over the globe to create a net of consciousness that holds the world together while it sleeps. You are the night watch. You are the keepers of the dawn. Edgar Cayce warned that as we move into the new age, the sensitive souls would be the first to feel the changes in the Earth's vibration. Your insomnia is actually your initiation. It is your body upgrading its operating system to handle a higher voltage of reality. So if you are ready to stop fighting the night and start using it, if you are ready to turn that 3 a.m. wake-up call into the most powerful spiritual tool in your arsenal, if you are ready to learn the specific 3 words that act as a password to lock in this protection and clarify the message that is waiting for you, then you need to understand that what comes next is not a superstition. It is a mechanic of the soul. It is a lever you pull to shift the tracks of your destiny. Before we reveal the protocol, I want you to declare your acceptance of this role. I want you to stop calling yourself an insomniac and start calling yourself an initiate. Go to the comments right now and write this affirmation so your subconscious mind knows you have stopped resisting. Write the phrase, I am listening. Write, I am the night watch. Because once you accept that you are not broken, you become dangerous to the forces that want you asleep. Now listen closely, because the 3 words we are about to discuss are the keys to the kingdom. You have tried the salt baths. You have burned the sage until the walls turned gray. You have worn the black tourmaline around your neck until the strings snapped. And yet you still wake up with that heaviness in your chest, that specific gray fog that sits behind your eyes. You feel the emotions of strangers walking past you in the grocery store as if they were shouting into your ear. This is not a failure of your faith. This is a failure of mechanics. It is a structural issue within the architecture of your soul. You need to understand why your current protection is failing so you can stop blaming yourself for being weak. You are not weak. You are unsealed. Edgar Cayce spoke of the body not merely as meat and bone, but as an electrical instrument. He saw the human form as an intricate lattice of vibrations. He described a layer of energy that sits just millimeters above your skin. The ancients called it the etheric double. Cayce called it the pattern. Think of it as a spacesuit for your spirit. When this etheric body is intact, it acts as a filter. It decides what energy comes in and what energy stays out. It allows love to enter, but it blocks malice. It allows inspiration to enter, but it blocks confusion. But for 80% of the people watching this video right now, that filter is broken. It has become a sieve. If you were born with a high degree of sensitivity, then your etheric body is naturally more porous. You were designed to receive high frequencies. You were built to be an antenna for the divine. But in this modern world of noise and chaos and digital static, that gift has become your greatest liability. Because you are walking around with your spiritual receiver dialed to maximum volume, and you have no way to turn it down. Let us look at the mechanics of this failure. It usually happens in the solar plexus. Place your hand on your stomach right now, just above your navel. Cayce identified this area as the brain of the emotional body. It is the clearinghouse for every vibration you encounter. When your protection fails, it is because your solar plexus has stuck open. It is like a camera aperture that has jammed. It is letting in too much light. It is letting in too much darkness. It is absorbing the anger of your coworker. It is absorbing the anxiety of your spouse. It is absorbing the fear from the news. And your physical body does not know what to do with all this foreign energy. So it stores it. It pushes this toxic energy into your joints. It hides it in your lower back. It clouds your thyroid. This is why you are exhausted even after sleeping for 10 hours. You are not tired from physical exertion. You are suffering from spiritual indigestion. You are processing the karma of other people because your etheric skin has lost its surface tension. Cayce warned that when the etheric body is compromised, the nervous system begins to fray. You become jumpy. You become irritable. You start to isolate yourself, not because you hate people, but because being around them feels like being slowly eaten alive. This is the mechanism of the leak. You are bleeding out your own life force to sustain the environment around you. And you are sucking in the smog of the collective consciousness to fill the void. It is a distinctive exchange. It creates a loop of fatigue that no amount of caffeine can fix. You might think you are depressed, but you are actually just overly permeable. The traditional methods of protection fail because they operate on the mental plane. You visualize a white light. You say a prayer of safety. These are powerful acts. But if the etheric fabric is torn, the visualization will fade in minutes. Imagine trying to fill a bathtub that has a hole in the bottom. You can pour water in all day long. You can pour holy water in, but until you plug the hole, you will never be full. We have to move from psychology to physiology. We have to address the glandular system. Cayce taught that our glands are the physical connection points for our spiritual centers: the pineal, the pituitary, the adrenals, the interstitial cells of Leydig. When your etheric body is weak, your adrenals are constantly firing false alarms. Your body is in a state of fight or flight against invisible enemies. This depletes the potassium in your system. It acidifies your blood. It creates a vibration in your cells that actually attracts more negativity. Like attracts like. When you are vibrating at the frequency of exhaustion, you become a magnet for entities that feed on exhaustion. I know this sounds frightening, but it is necessary to see the wound before we can stitch it. You must realize that your sensitivity is not a curse. It is a high-performance engine that has been put into a standard chassis without the proper cooling system. You are overheating. The 3 words we are about to reveal act as the coolant. They act as the sealant. They are a command code to the solar plexus to close the aperture. They tell the etheric body to harden its edges. They reset the surface tension of your aura so that you can slide through the world without having the world stick to you. This is about moving from being a sponge to being a diamond. A sponge absorbs everything until it is heavy and gross. A diamond reflects the light, but nothing can penetrate it. Nothing can scratch it. You are meant to be the diamond. Before I give you the protocol, I need you to confirm that you are ready to seal the leak. I need you to verify that you are done being the garbage disposal for the emotions of others. If you feel that heat in your stomach, if you recognize that fatigue in your bones, then you are the one I am speaking to. You are the one who needs to rebuild the wall. Type the words "I am sealed" in the comments. Type it to tell your solar plexus that the free ride is over. Type "I am sealed" to begin the hardening process, because what we are about to do at dawn changes the physics of your day. It is not just a prayer. It is a recalibration of your atomic structure. It is how you stop the bleeding. It is how you reclaim the energy that is rightfully yours. Are you listening? Here is how we fix the machine. We are talking about the precise moment when the velvet of the subconscious mind meets the harsh friction of the waking world. This is the most dangerous 3 minutes of your existence. This is the window where the thief enters. This is the gap in the fence where the anxiety of the collective consciousness tries to occupy your temple before you have even brushed your teeth. Edgar Cayce saw this clearly in the trance state. He saw the physical body not as a solid object, but as a swirling vortex of electrical currents. He saw that for people like you, for the sensitives, for the ones who feel the mood of a room the moment they walk through the doorframe. The solar plexus is wide open at sunrise. It is gaping. It is acting like a vacuum cleaner for the astral debris of the entire neighborhood. You wake up tired because you are fighting a spiritual war in your sleep, and then you are waking up without your armor. The protocol we are discussing today is the breastplate. It is the seal. It is the ancient technology of sound vibration used to close the lower chakras to external influence and open the higher centers to divine guidance. It creates a vertical alignment instead of a horizontal distraction. This is not superstition. This is spiritual aerodynamics. When you wake up tomorrow, before your feet touch the cold floor, before you reach for the black mirror of your telephone to check the notifications that drain your dopamine, you must lie still on your back. You must align your spine so that the cerebrospinal fluid can flow without obstruction from the base to the crown. You need to place your right hand over that sensitive pit of your stomach, that place where you hold your fear, that place where you felt the knot when you were a child. And you are going to speak the triad. You are going to whisper the 3 words that Edgar Cayce identified as the master key to the Hall of Records. These 3 words are a contract. They are a binding legal agreement between your ego and the creative forces of the universe. Are you ready to write the contract? The first word is Lord. But you must understand what you are saying. You are not speaking to a man in the sky with a beard. You are addressing the principle of unity. You are addressing the universal consciousness that spins the galaxies and beats your heart. By saying this word, you are acknowledging that there is a hierarchy, and you are submitting your small self to the great self. The second word is use. This is the verb of action. This is where you change the game. Most people pray and ask to be served. They ask for money. They ask for love. They ask for relief. They are beggars at the gate. But you are not a beggar. You are a conduit. When you say the word use, you are telling the universe that you are a tool. You are a vessel. You are an instrument to be played. You are asking for movement. You are asking for flow. You are telling the energy to move through you rather than getting stuck inside of you. The third word is me. This is the offering. This is where you take your body and your mind and your confusing emotions and your history and you place it on the altar. You are saying that all of this belongs to the purpose. Lord, use me. Lord, use me. Lord, use me. You must say it 3 times, once for the body, once for the mind, once for the spirit. And when you whisper this into the silence of the dawn, something physical happens. The vibration of these specific words hits the pituitary gland. It sends a signal down the vagus nerve. It tells the solar plexus to stop absorbing and start radiating. It flips the polarity of your magnet. Instead of pulling in the garbage, you start pushing out the light. You become a lighthouse instead of a sponge. A lighthouse does not worry about the storm. A lighthouse does not get wet and heavy with the waves. It stands firm and it shines. This is how you seal the vessel. You are effectively telling the chaos of the world that this house is occupied. You are posting a guard at the door. And the most beautiful part of this protocol is the simplicity. It does not require a temple. It does not require incense or robes. It requires only the humility to admit that you cannot do this alone. It requires the courage to surrender your agenda. Edgar Cayce taught that the only failure is the failure to try to live for an ideal. This prayer sets the ideal. It calibrates your compass to true north before the magnetic storms of the day can spin you around. If you do this for 3 days in a row, you will notice the difference in your skin. You will notice the difference in your eyes. People will ask you what you are doing differently. They will sense that the leak has been patched. They will feel that you are solid, but we are not done yet. Because once the vessel is sealed and the direction is set, there is a secondary mechanism that must be activated. There is a way to amplify this signal so that it does not just protect you, but it actually begins to draw your destiny towards you. It involves the food you eat and the water you drink immediately after the prayer. It involves the alkalinity of the blood, because a spiritual signal travels faster in an alkaline medium. Edgar Cayce gave us the blueprint for the morning nourishment that locks this prayer into the cellular memory. I need you to tell me if you are ready to hear about the biological component of the seal. I need to know if you are willing to change what you put in your mouth to save what comes out of your soul. Drop the word vessel in the comments if you are ready for the dietary code. Drop the word vessel if you commit to waking up and speaking the triad tomorrow morning. Because the dawn is coming, and you have a choice. You can be a sponge or you can be a servant. You can be a victim or you can be a volunteer. Lord, use me. Say it now. Feel the shift. We are just getting started with the reconstruction.